What's up, guys? I have another game review for you guys today, and that game is the 2016 Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, which is like a sequel to Fate Extra, the PSP Fate game by Type Moon, which was a turn-based RPG, right? Which was adapted into an anime called Lost Encore, which you can watch on Netflix. So this game came out 2016. It's developed by Marvelous and Type Moon. It's basically Dynasty Warriors clone with visual novel elements, and like I said, uh, like I mentioned before in other videos, this game is basically a waifu simulator. Where it takes place on the moon after a Holy Grail war, where your character, which you can choose. And by the way, this game comes with a manual, unlike a lot of modern games. In this game, you can choose to be a male or female, or male. I did it backwards, right? And the game takes place on the moon because there was a Holy Grail war on the moon in Fate Extra, right? Where you're conscious, where you're basically, it's like the Matrix. They did basically a sci-fi version of Fate, where they had like a Holy Grail war on the moon, and you're fighting for supremacy uh, to take over the moon, and you get rewarded with the regalia, which gives you all the powers of the moon cell, right? Which you find out the moon cell exists to combat this alien conqueror called the Umbral Star, which is this like spaceship, right? That 1400 years ago they summon a titan called Altera, which there's Altera there, and she tried to conquer the Earth, but she ends up getting defeated, or was temporarily wounded by the gods at the time and the heroic spirits, right? So yeah, and the story for this game is you have like four campaigns and three like free servants your character teams up with, because in the story for this game, where you start off with Saber, right, who is Nero Claudius, another gender swap, and she was your original main servant in the Fate Extra, right? Uh, After you won the Moon Holy Grail War, you get invited by Archimedes to go to the core, and something happened where you encountered the White Titan, which is the thing that tried to conquer the Earth, right? And your body, something happened, and you had no choice but to split your body into three, right? And each part of the body is the mind, which goes with Saber, the soul that goes with Castor, Tamino no May, and the body went with Altera. So the main story of this game is, depending on which campaign you're at, you have to battle the other two servants, who all have army of servants working for them, and all the servants in the game are servants from, or heroic spirits from, Fate Stay Night, Fate Apocrypha, which I'm currently watching, and Fate Extra, which I can show you the servants here, but there's going to be spoilers because it's going to spoil their true name, and part of the Fate series trying to figure out what the heroic spirits' true names are, so you can find out the weaknesses. Oh, did I forget to mention that there's also servants from Fate Zero. So if you don't want spoilers from the anime, don't watch this. I'll put the rating of the game in the description, right? So here you see the 3 main campaigns. The 4th and final campaign, I'll talk about, but you play as Nero Claudius again. So here you see like the other servants you have. You got the Archer from Fate Stay Night, Gilgamesh from Zero and Fate Night, Elizabeth Bathory, which I think she's a Lancer. I think she's from Fate Extra. You got Gawain, who's also a Saber. Why there were 2 Sabers in Fate Extra, I don't know, but he's also from Fate Extra. Li Shuwen, who's like an assassin. I think he's also from Fate Extra. You got Joan of Arc, who had a small cameo in Fate Zero, but is from Fate Apocrypha. Iskander, who's a rider from Fate Zero. Karna, who's a lancer from Apocrypha. Kukulon, as lancer, who's from Fate Stay Night. Also, you have a Toriel Pendragon in the game, Fate Stay Night. Medusa, rider, Fate Stay Night. Lu Bu Fangshen as Berserker, which is, oh my god, they have Lu Bu in a game that's basically a Dinosaur Warriors ripoff. And you have Archimedes, right? Who is, spoiler alert, is the villain of the game, who's a caster, right? And yeah, you can unlock these servants after clearing the different story modes, right? The first time you beat Nero's story mode, you get Archer from Fate Stay Night, Li Shuwen, Gawain, and Lancer from Fate Stay Night. If you beat Tamino no Mei, you get Fubu, Medusa, I think not Iskander, Karna. You get these 3, and then I think I beat the game, and you know, if you beat Altera, you get Gilgamesh, right? Iskander and Joan of Arc, and it's not until you only get Elizabeth Bathory and Archimedes, which there's Archimedes, there's Elizabeth Bathory. If you clear the final campaign, right, and you get a gold trophy for that, right? So the story, I really like the story of the game, because it's basically like you have like basically Archimedes, who is working as a spy for the Umbral Star, is created a time loop where every time he tries to weaken the defenses of the Moon Core, right, and loses at the end of each campaign, he basically tries again. So that's why you have 4 campaigns. The 3rd campaign, which is Altera, the main character figures out that what Archimedes is doing and sends information to his past self, right, through the dimensions using the regalia, which is the special ring that the Moon Cell gave them, right, when they won the Moon Holy Grail War. That they figure out that Archimedes is a traitor and is able to team up with the other characters to stop him, right? So what did I think about the game? Obviously, it's my problem with the game, there's lots of content in the game. Like, you have the main story modes, you have the side stories that you unlock when you beat the separate campaigns. You have costumes you can get, which I only got like 1 costume because I only beat one of the side stories, which I wasn't a huge fan of the costume because it was just like clothes. But yeah, there's like lots of content in the game. My problem with the game is there's no real collectibles. Honesty, it's just like, different items that you cold cast have different abilities, right? So there's no real collectibles in the game other than unlocking the other servants so you can get so you can play as them, right? There's no other collectibles, to be honest. The game is in Japanese only with English subtitles, so which is when people talk in battle, while you're playing the game, it divides your focus. So it's like, oh man, I can't really. So like, if you're playing the game and like you're fighting and then you have to read subtitles, it distracts you, right? So they really should have had an English dub for this game, since most, if not all, the Fate anime have English dub. So it's like, why did they cheap out on an English dub, man? That was annoying. Two, how to unlock Arteria Pendragon was such fucking bullshit. Cause I searched online. Okay, how do you unlock her, right? Because you have specific missions in all the different campaigns where you can where one of the side quests is like a question mark, and if you do what you're supposed to do, you can unlock. She'll show up. She'll show up, and then you can battle her, right? At first, it said, like, when I googled it, it said just drink 5 sake not no, eat 5 health items, which the health items only drop when you have low health, even if you have the special passive skill that makes items drop. What you're supposed to fucking do is complete the map, like conquer all the different zones, right? So you have you completely conquer the map, and before fighting the boss, because there's always a boss after you conquer the map, right? You're supposed to go to a specific area in the map, grind, eat the health items, and then she shows up. And by the way, she'll only show up if you fight her at 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's a specific time frame, which is like, holy crap. Which you can just change the settings on your system to make it, around 3 or 4, right? But it's like, holy fuck, man. How the fuck would you have figured that out on your own without looking up at a guide, man? That's fucking bullshit, right? It's easy once you know what you're supposed to do, even though there's a lot of shit you're supposed to do. But it's like, holy fuck, man. That was fucking dumb. When Tori, like, I didn't really want her, but it's like, thing is, like, I wanted to, like, unlock all the characters of the game before, like, I reviewed the fucking game. So that was fucking bullshit. And then there's, like, obviously there's the waifu similar part of the game, and I didn't mind that. But then there's when this is the major problem of the game that is going to make or break a lot of people from buying the game, is that this is an action RPG, but it's almost a fucking visual novel as well. Because there's so much fucking reading in this game that I had to take breaks. And most of the reading is not from, like, characters talking, but your main character's inner dialogue. Paragraphs and paragraphs of fucking bullshit you have to fucking read, man. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. It was so fucking bad. Like, so much fucking read. I could have, this is a game that even working full time, I should have been able to beat in 2 weeks. Took me like a month to beat this fucking game. Right? Oh my, because there's so much reading, I would just get bored. And I'm someone who does read books, but reading, like, on a screen where it takes like a couple seconds for the load up the next fucking thing, and it's like, or a second or two to load up the next fucking thing, is like, god damn it, man. And the monologues were so fucking boring. Like, I can only really recommend this game if you're a pervy weeb who likes action RPGs, who also likes visual novels. If not, then the only thing I could recommend this game is for Fate Stay Night, for Fate fans who want to play an RPG that's cheap, right? And you don't want to play the shitty gotcha game, right? The Fate Grand Order gotcha game. Because the only other RPG Fate Extella game is the PSP game, and last time I checked, which was not that long ago, it goes for $200, man. maybe if you go to like retro gaming stores or whatever, it'll be cheaper, but not by much because they love to go by what people are selling online at the highest fucking like price, man. Oh my god, not understanding that a lot of those games stay up there for a long ass time because nobody wants to pay 200 like fuck man. But yeah, like if I were to give this game a rating, it is like it's not a great fucking game, honestly. Like I would only recommend this. Like even for like Dynasty people who like Dynasty War games, I wouldn't recommend this either because there's like not as much nearly as much reading in that game in those games as this game. What right? And I thought the action part of the game like it was fine, but there are some bullshit levels because like bullshit in the game where it's like you'll start off because if the enemy conquers too many zones, right, you lose the game, and then there are parts of the game where you start off the battle, and they're like basically one zone away from conquering the map, and then you automatically game over, right? Whereas if you're killed in battle, your main character can use command seals, just like in the anime and the books, to bring you back to life. Well, actually, they don't do that, but like the command seals have that kind of power. And also, you can use command seals to boost your characters, right? Which I never did. Also, I thought it was weird that in like there's this thing called the Moon Crux where you get a power up. It's like the left trigger or something, or left bumper, where like your characters can your characters can transform. Only these two, by the way, can transform into a different form and do a shitload of damage. When other characters do it, you just do you glow and you can do a shitload of damage, right? Um, right? But like I thought it was weird. How come these two had transformations, but like the other third main character of the game, Altera, who was also another gender swap, she turns out to be Attila the Hun. Oh my god, an alien and Attila the Hun. Oh my god, that was dumb. But yeah, like the game, like I said, the game is basically a 5 out of 10. I, I can only recommend this to hardcore Fate fans or like Fate fans who are like, if you can get this game for like $20 or less, I would say yeah, get it if you're a Fate fan. But if you're not a Fate fan, you're just looking for an action RPG, don't get this game. All right, guys, that's it for this review. I'm gonna have a poll, depending on how many views this gets. This gets like at least 20 views. We'll do a poll, and you guys can vote for the next game review. And the choices are going to be Trails of Cold Steel 1, Summon Night 6 Lost Borders, which is a strategy RPG. This is a turn-based RPG. And then the latest Star Ocean Divine Force, which is action RPG. Alright, guys, I hope